Okay, so we have both plugged in to the power supply, battery's charging away, boat is powered off, but we want to switch this on to practice with our nav. So, got two switches, one on, power. Course over ground, speed over ground, cross track error, all good to go. Right, so we have power to the boat, and we're now going to switch on our nav system. It's going to be sitting in position 2. So how do we switch it on? Takes a couple of seconds to warm up and fire up. And while we're waiting on our controller, take it out of the slot. We don't use the cable to pull it out. Grab by the side, and we've got 3 buttons basically. Button 1, which selects. Button 2, which changes screen, and 3 to edit. So button 3 will always be closer to the wire, and button 1 close to the ball. One ball, number 1. So over on station 2, and seat 3 there, the nav radar is warming up. You notice all the buttons there are yellow or green, which means seat 3 has control of that workstation as far as the radar is concerned. If we come over here, most of the buttons and icons on seat position 2 are all yellow. So that's telling me that in the position that I have the controller, that I have control of the chart plotter. And I'm now going to change screen. So 2 usually change the screen, and you can see here that I do not have control of the radar because it's brown. I do have control of the chart, and I do have control of the direction finder because it's all green, all green. If I want to take control of the radar, I'm going to edit that. So number 3 button, and you notice a blue box has gone around the outside of the radar. I want to take control of that. So move the cursor down, and I'm going to select that. I'm going to take the function. So you notice that the radar has gotten green for the icon. Now we go over to number 3 position. On the radar, some of the buttons have gone grey. So that means the person on this position does not have control of the radar. They're able to use it to some degree, but they don't have overall control of it. That's there with my position, seat 2. So if I want to go over to the radar. I now have radar, and you can see that all the buttons that are on my display, C2, are yellow or green. I have control of that now. If I want to switch back at any stage to the home screen, number 2. So what do we have information wise? So on the bottom right hand of the screen, we've got a position 53:35 north and 06 degrees 06 minutes west. We're not going very fast. Our heading is 207 true. We've got AIS and radar on at time 1937. So a couple of things that I can do on the screen. I can change the brightness of it. Apologies for the station lights. Can move the cursor around the place. Select 3, and from now on you can see that the cursor gives the position where the cursor is. So at that point on the plotter, it's a bearing relative to the boat, 211, range decimal 1 nautical miles. If I move the cursor up to the top right hand corner, as far as the boat is concerned, it's a bearing of 050 degrees, decimal 2 nautical miles. It gives the Latin long there as well. And we are the pink donut, as opposed to the casualty, which would be a blue donut. Okay, so we also have a scale on the side. Home screen, selecting radar, home screen, selecting direction finder, home screen, and chart plotter, home screen, into chart plotter, home screen, into radar, select radar, home screen, direction finder, home screen, chart plotter, home screen, chart plotter. Okay, that's us. So now we're going to have a look at some of the functions. So we're going to have a look at ship tracking. So this is like the 2-year-old wants to be the center of attention. So when that's switched on, our boat will always be snapped to the center of the map. So I want to go north, have a look north on the chart. So I have got the cursor moved between that box and the outer edge of the screen. now going north. If I let it go, it'll snap me back to where the boat will be put in the centre of the map. There we go. If I have a look, glance east, pressing 1 at the moment, I let go, it snaps the boat back to the centre of the map. If I have a look west, and let it go, it snaps back to the centre of the map. Now, we want to sometimes look north, south, east and west without being snapped back and stay there, so we're going to switch off the 2-year-old. So tracking is off, and you can see how it's off centre now. So if we go and have a look east, so I'm pressing the 1 button now, and we're not being snapped back to the centre of the map. The chart plotter is staying there. So you notice we're quite close, so we're going to zoom out. So we're going to select the zoom, and we've got a cursor here which is different from when the on-ship tracking is on. Sometimes it switches on and off, and I don't know why. So we have a look on the cursor. It is a plus, which is going to zoom us in, which I don't want. No, I'm going to hit the 3. You can see the cursor switched to minus, so we're going to zoom out. Hit, and we zoom out. Okay. Now, at any time, if I want to switch off the cursor and go back to the home cursor, hit the number 3 button. So I want to drop a mark. Don't want that tool anymore. Number 3 button switches it off. I want to put a route. You'll see that the icon has gone to route where the cursor is. I want to switch that off. Go back to the normal cursor, hit 3. Okay, so we've had a look now at moving the map, north, south, east and west, ship tracking on and off. Have a look at the scale now. So we've got 0 nautical miles up to 1 nautical mile on that scale. Now we're going to drop a mark and edit it. I'll select that tool. And as I select that tool, you notice the on-ship tracking has gone off. I'm going to drop the mark here. I'm going to drop another mark over here. As it goes across that part of the box, you can see the map moves over across to allow that. I'll drop the second one here. So I've dropped 2 marks, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit them. So I don't want to drop any more marks, so I want to cancel that icon. Our cursor has gone back to before, and the on-ship tracking has gone snapped back on. So now pink donut is the centre of the map. That's us. So I want to edit this particular mark. So I select it. I know it's selected because there's a box around it, and you'll also notice that we have down information near the bottom right hand side. Next waypoint, mark 2, bearing to waypoint 030 approximately, and distance to waypoint .14 nautical miles. So I want to edit that. So in the top button, 3, and this is the information given now. Lat long. I can change the symbol. What options do I have? A, B, C, D, anchor. So let's use that. And if I hit the edit button, I can also change the lat long of it, and also the range and bearing from where I originally dropped it. So I want to change minutes. Select that, number 1 button, and then I can go up in increments of 1, and in increments of 1, or up in increments of 10, or down in increments of 10. Now, you can see that it's 0 nautical miles from where we dropped it. Bearing relative to us, 047 degrees. I'm happy with that. So we've got an anchor. So I'm going to go over and have a look at the other mark that we dropped. So in order to do that and to edit it, I'm going to have to switch off the ship tracking. And I have the arrow cursor to the east in between the pink box and the edge of the plotter. So let's bring this over. I select it. I want to edit it. And I'm going to change the symbol. We just happen to know that there's a yacht there. So that's what we're going to use. Okay, so
I have a scale on the side here showing that from that section is decimal 1 nautical mile and another decimal 1 nautical mile. I'm going to measure the distance from the anchor to the ship using the pencil tool. From the scale of Red Island and the scale on the side, it looks roughly approximately decimal 3 nautical miles. So go over to the pencil tool, select that, and the icon is changed. So I put the cursor over my ship, hit 1, start my pencil mark there, and then I move the trackball and cursor across, and as I do that, the pencil stretches out and the pencil line gets drawn on the plotter with some information with it. So we're a distance from the ship to where the cursor is of decimal 3 nautical miles, and also gives me 2 bearings, approximately 270, so that the anchor is due west of the ship, and then reciprocal bearing then of 090, so that the ship is due east of the anchor. So hit 1, and now I've got a pencil mark, permanent pencil mark between those 2 marks. So let's have a closer look. So I'm going to come out of the pencil tool. So I want to return to the home cursor, hit 3, select that pencil mark by hitting 1, move the cursor over and hit 1, it's gone pink. I'm going to edit that, hit 3. So we've got information, the start mark, for lat long for that, and then lat long for the second mark. Got 2 bearings there. On the ship icon, it seems to make sense with the longitude because it's slightly less inches, decimal 3 nautical miles, which fits. If I want to delete that pencil mark, select it, and edit it goes pink, and the information comes up, and I want to delete that. Yes, I definitely want to do that.
Okay, so we're going to plan a route leaving the lifeboat station in Skerries and between Colt Island and Patrick's Island to bring us to the east side of Shannock. So select the route tool. Our cursor has gone changed from the home cursor to a similar icon that's for the route, and I'm going to drop a waypoint there. I'm going to head out towards the perch mark. Drop a mark there. So going to head now between Colt and Patrick's. And east of Shannock. So I don't go any further, and I'm going to cancel out now of the route tool. So the cursor's gone to the home cursor. So I've been snapped back now to the for where our boat is at the centre of the map, because on-ship tracking is on. I switched off there while I was doing the route. So let's zoom out and have a look at that. Let's switch off. So move over. Okay, so there's my route. Okay, so a couple of things I'm not happy about. I think this waypoint here is too close to Shannock Island, so I want to bring that over to a safer position. So I'm going to edit this route now. So I'm going to select this waypoint, bring the cursor over it, select one, and there's a black square gone around it, and I have the details of that waypoint on the first route, route 1, waypoint 5, and as far as the boat is concerned, the bearing to that waypoint is 124, and the distance to that waypoint is decimal 9 nautical miles approximately. So I want to shift that waypoint. So I'm going to press 1 and keep it pressed, and leave it there. And I'm going to bring this waypoint, select it, black has gone around it, and I'm going to, whoops, more east. Okay, and for that waypoint, as far as the boat is concerned, it's still route 1, waypoint 6. It's a bearing of 122 and a distance of 1.5 nautical miles. Okay, so let's have a look up here. And I'm happy that I don't need this waypoint where it is. So I'm going to delete it. So I'm going to select it. And the black box has gone around it. So I'm going to edit it. So hit the 3 button. I'm going to delete that waypoint. Yes, I'm sure I want to delete that. Okay, so it's gone. So let's snap back to near the start of our route. Okay, let me zoom in. So I've got a waypoint that's quite close to perch mark, and I'm thinking I want to do a safer route around that, not so close. So I'm going to add a couple of waypoints in that will bring me around. Select it, and I'm going to keep that pressed in, number 1 button, and I should be able to drag it. So I want to deselect it. Press 1. So I'm going to add a waypoint to this route, and I'm going to make this route active and also show reversing of the route. So considering between waypoint 2 and waypoint 3, we know that there's a couple of lobster pots along that path, so I'm going to add a waypoint in between waypoint 2 and waypoint 3. So I'll go over to the route tool, select that. I click on the second waypoint, and you can see that there's an automatic waypoint joined between waypoint 2 and what was waypoint 3. So I'm happy enough with that there. And now the route has added in that waypoint. From waypoint 2 to this waypoint, that's disappeared. We've added in a waypoint. I'm happy with that. So I want to cancel out of the route tool. 3. We're good to go. So we've got our route leaving the station, going around the perch and between Colt Island and Patrick's Island, and we're going to make that route active. So I want to select that route, 1 button, and you can see that the route has gone from pink to red, or from red to pink. I'm going to edit that route, and there are our options. So we can make the route active, we can delete the route, we can lock the route, we can reverse the route. We'll have a look at what that means now in a second. We can also change the cross-track error along our route. So how wide is the safe road that we have? So if we go outside 0.18 nautical miles of our centre line, then we'll have an alarm. So happy with that. Then we're going to make this the active route. So select that. All the other buttons have gone grey. Accept that. So now our route has gone green. Green is good to go. And you can tell by the arrows about what direction that we're going to be going. So we're going to go from waypoint 1 to waypoint 2 to waypoint 3, etc. So what happens that we've got to our final destination and we want to go back home? So instead of setting out a completely new route, all we're going to do is just reverse the route. So if I select that route, hit 1, it's gone pink again, and I want to edit it, hit 3, and hit 3 again. And I want to switch off the active route. Yes. So I want to reverse the route. That button was grey a second ago. So. And if you have a look at the arrows, they're going from east of Shennick. Now we're going back to the base. And that could be our active route then, after we got it to our original position. So a couple of things that we can and cannot do with the active route. So I'm going to make that the active route. Select that route, it's gone pink. I'm going to edit that route. So I'm going to make the active route. So now the active route is on. The other options are greyed out, I can't adjust those. So if I try and select a mark, I can select a mark. So I'm going to select this mark here, this waypoint. And as far as the reverse route is concerned, that's waypoint 4. That makes sense because we have a waypoint just off the screen here. Waypoint 1, waypoint 2, waypoint 3, waypoint 4. I can't move that. So if I try and drag that around the place by pressing 1, it won't allow me to drag the active route. It's locked in position. I deselect that waypoint and select this waypoint. Black box has gone around it and all the information there as far as the boat is concerned relative to the boat. I can't edit that or move that around. If I try and do that, nothing happens. So I have to switch off the active route. So I'm going to select the route. It's gone pink. I'm going to edit it, hit 3, and I have to switch off the active route. The moment it's switched on, switch it off. Yes, I do want to disengage it. I can now move the waypoint if I so need. So select that. And if I keep press one pressed in and I move the trackball, it moves it around. Okay. So come away from that waypoint. Now I'm just going to zoom out and see if that fits. We should have a safe transit going through the islands that line up with. Too far. So with our hill here and with that corner and high peak on Shennick Island, it should be a transit that we use for a safe passage between Colt Island and Patrick's Island. So that's reasonably okay. Right, all done. Oh. So we're now going to have a look at deleting a route. So this is not an active route because it's red. If it was an active route, it would be green. So I'm going to select it. My route has gone pink. I'm going to edit it. Use the 3 button. And then I'm going to delete that route. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Okay, so we're going to learn how to drop a casualty position and edit that. So we've been told that there's a casualty northeast of the perch mark at a distance of roughly 1 nautical mile. So select the casualty, I'm going to drop it on the perch mark, and I'm going to that's 1 nautical mile. Northeast. We're okay with that. So our cursor's gone back to normal cursor. The on-track ship tracking disabled when we selected the casualty, and when we drop the casualty on the perch, you can see this blue vector pointing off to the northeast. So let's have a look and gander and follow that. Let's just zoom out. There we go. And it's roughly east of this yellow F1 marker. So we might get information then, further information about the casualty, then it might be drifting. So let's edit the casualty. You can see that there's a black box around the casualty position, and because that black box is around it, it acts like then as a waypoint, and information about that casualty, bearing to waypoint, distance to waypoint, time to waypoint if we were moving, would be given there. So we're going to edit that casualty.
So I've been told that the casualty is going at a heading of approximately due east 090. Of 5 knots. We have the longitude. Happy with that. And if we have a look now from the perch mark, perch light. Casualty is snapped to the center of the map. I switched off on ship tracking. I zoom out. Select zoom. And then the number 3 button. Switch off that zoom. Hit 3. So the perch mark is there, and our casualty is approximately northeast of that, and it's got its own heading, velocity vector of 5 knots, and in a direction of east. You can see our scale of 1 nautical mile of the full bar. We snap back to our own position. Switch on ship tracking, puts our ship in the center of the map. Done.
So now we're going to have a look at the boundary tool. So select that, and what we want to do is we want to search an area between Coat Island and St. Patrick's Island. And as far as this yellow marker, F1 marker, and this yellow F1 marker. So boundary. So it allows me to do any shape. I'll leave it at that. So I'm going to stop there. So I've gone back to the normal cursor. If I want to change one of the boundary points or corners or vertices, I select it and I can move it by pressing in one and then move it around the trackball. Okay. So I select another point on the map and that boundary point is switched off. So if I want to edit that and change maybe the shading, or let's have a look, see. So select it. You see it's gone pink. I want to edit it. And I can either lock it or change the colour. At the moment it's empty. You can fill it. So at the moment it's that kind of colour. I don't know how you describe that. Hatched. So it's not locked at the moment, so I can still edit the boundaries, corners. So we'll return to base and then we're going to shut down the nav system. So home screen. I'm going to shut it down. I want to prepare the mode. So do. Well done. And we are now switching off. I'm going to switch the power's off.